The start of last week, one day I did $300 in 3 hours. The worst time to get comfortable is when things finally start working. All right, so last week I started to see a little bit of progress, not only in like my business and my work and what I do, but a little bit in the channel as well. No, not nothing crazy with the channel, but a little bit just to feel it. And passively with my business as well, like seeing results, better conversions and stuff like that. Passively meaning without having to do nothing. And let me tell you, boy, did it feel good. To passively get to another level, to passively see results, to do something once, and then that one thing that you've done, compounds, and then you just, create something big, over time. And that was, just last week, with a lot of stuff in my business and a little bit with the channel as well, with the shorts I was pushing out. I'm averaging 1,000 views each shorts. It's nothing to brag about, but it's just something good to see. And though the momentum feels good, the progress feels good, we can't get comfortable. Even though we want to get comfortable, we can't get comfortable. And that's what I saw myself getting into, a place of contentment, or like just getting comfortable where I was at and, the results I was getting. The start of last week, one day I did $300 in 3 hours. And for me, for what I do, I was like, man, that's good. That's crazy. That was my goal. I'm just gonna, take this $300. I'm good for the rest of the day. I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna go, grab some food. I'm gonna chill, watch YouTube for the rest of the day. And that's what I did. I'm comfortable, and I was just complacent with that. Which you should always be content, or grateful in a sense for what you get and what you have. But imagine if I would have continued to work 7 more hours. That's about, let's say, I don't know, about $600. If I would have continued to work at that same rate and effort that I did in the first 3 hours, I would have ended the day almost with $1,000, if that what the results were meant to be for that day. Instead of working the rest of the day, I was complacent. I was comfortable with the first $300 of the first 3 hours a day. And, I was lazy, and I just took the rest of the day as a rest day, because I was happy with getting $300 in the first 3 hours of the day. So yes, the momentum, it felt good, passively as well. Everything was just flowing, coming to me. It felt good. The rest of the day I wanted to relax, and that's what I did, and I regret it. Even though the momentum at that time did feel good, imagine if I would have kept on compounding that momentum. Imagine if I would have kept on momentuming for the next 3 hours, and the 3 hours after that. Then what would the results, or what the final results would have been? And that's the thing with comfort. Comfort doesn't show up whenever you're losing or whenever you're down. It doesn't really show up in the beginning of the process, but comfort really shows whenever your momentum is growing, you're seeing results, you're stacking wins, and you're winning. Because everybody in the business, whenever they first start to actually make money, they get to a place whenever they be like, okay, yeah, I made it, I'm good. And realistically, you're really not, because you kind of really just started, and you're nowhere where you really want to be, but you're just comfortable and you're happy with where you're at now, which is not bad. But in a certain extent, we shouldn't be comfortable with, especially with something like a business, when we have, more that we could do, more that we could, put in to get better results than what we have. Take that with a grain of salt, because that doesn't apply to everything in every situation. That was just mainly from my example. That wasn't wise of me to take the rest of the day off because the first 3 hours of the day were good, when I knew I could have, there was more I had to do, there's more I could have done for the next 6 to 9 hours of that day that I did not do. And I just decided, just to be comfortable and just take the rest of the day off as a break, which I should not have done as a business owner. If Nike does a release and they sell out in 24 hours, Tuesday, Wednesday, they're not about to be, okay, we're good, let's go on vacation, Nike. They're not going to do that. Guess what? They got another drop releasing tomorrow. They got another drop releasing the next day. They got another drop releasing next week. They're going to keep working, because you know what? There's more work to be done. There's more that they have to do. I'm not saying overwork yourself. Just don't be lazy. That's basically something. Don't be lazy, and just work and just put forth an effort until you craft your skill or whatever you're working towards. And the thing about being comfortable, when you're comfortable, you stay stagnant. You stay at a straight line like this, and you don't move, you don't grow, because you're just comfortable, and you know that you want more. There's more that you know that you can get, but you're just comfortable, so you're not going to move. You're going to continue to do the same thing, because it's enough to cover the bills. It's enough to get what I want. But you know that there's more that you want, but you don't want to do that more. That's called being lazy. And that's where discipline comes in. Discipline is, doing what you know you're supposed to be doing even when you don't want to. So without discipline, you're going to get comfortable, you're going to be stagnant, and you're going to keep on getting the same good results that you've been getting, knowing that there's way much more that you could be achieving, way much more that you could be accomplishing. Progress is not permission you should relax. It's proof that you should double down, proof that you should 2x what you're doing, proof that you could keep doing and go harder at it. You see results, you see more sales coming in, boom, push out more, go hard in on marketing, push out more ads. Okay, you got a video that did 10K views, push out more videos, create more shorts, edit more, invest into CapCut Pro, make more investments, double down into what you see that's working, so you can see progress from your progress, if that makes sense. The week when things start working, the day when things start working, the month when things start working, the year when things start working, is usually when people slow down and they get complacent and they get comfortable. So if you're watching this and you're building towards something, don't get comfortable.